Is side hustling a key to your financial freedom? Stay tuned. Welcome to the Shut Up and Work podcast. I am your host, the coach. Along with me is SJ. And SJ, how are you doing today?
Hey, Coach, I'm doing great. Thanks. How you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. Just can't complain. Getting ready for the heat. You know, it's right around the corner, right?
Oh, I'm already experiencing the heat. I know.
I know exactly. Well, before we get started and jump right into our topic, I will again like to thank everybody who's been tuning in, liking, sharing, and commenting on our podcast. Please continue to do that, and please continue to share with whoever you know. And this information, we would like to know your thoughts on if, hey, having a side hustle is your key to financial freedom. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So, first, let me just do a easy, quick definition of what a side hustle is. It's just basically something you do to earn extra money from your primary job. So, some good examples of a side hustle is two categories. If you have a passion, some things that you may be able to do. Like, let's say you know how to build a website or you know how to do a little bit of programming. You can advertise your services on platforms like Fiverr or Upwork and get jobs like that. And also the occasional word of mouth. If you know how to do landscaping where you're mowing lawns and know how to plant trees and bushes and things like that, you can start your own lawn care business. You might be good at painting. Maybe you want to paint somebody's room or paint their fence or something in that nature. That can be a side hustle if you have the passion to do it. Now, on the other end, if you don't have the passion, some things that you can do, there are several platforms that are out there, like Uber or Lyft, where you can drive passengers, pick them up, drop them off at their desired location, and you can get paid for it. If you live in a house where you have a lot of extra space, then there's apps like Neighbor, where you could have somebody come and park their vehicle, park their motorcycle, or maybe they can store some extra boxes or stuff at your home and you charge them a monthly fee. Then, if you like delivering food because you say, hey, I don't want nobody in my damn car, then you can work on platforms like Uber Eats, Postmates, and others out there where you go to the store or you go to a fast food restaurant and you pick up the food and come and drop it off to somebody at their house. That's a platform. If you have a spare vehicle, that's pretty decent. And for a person that's coming into town to visit your city for whatever rhyme or reason, and they don't want to go through the traditional rental car service, then you can advertise your car on a app or a site called Turo, where they can rent out your vehicle for the weekend or the week for a price. So anyway, those are some things that you can do as a side hustle. And the reason I categorize it or I say side hustle because it's different from getting a job. But I'll get into that in just a moment here of why it's different from grabbing a second job. So SJ, would you like to fill in anything or say anything or add any thoughts to that?
Yeah, that's so interesting. I can't wait to hear how it's different from getting a second job or a side job. But you mentioned a lot of really interesting options there, and I do see how you have a little bit more autonomy than you would if you went and got a part-time job somewhere else. And those are some great ideas.
hmm And let me tell you why I have autonomy. It's through experience. So When I was in debt and I was working full time and I was looking for a way to pay off my debts, I had credit card bills and I had a car payment that I need to pay for. So the first thing I tried to do as a side hustle, I knew a friend who was in the life and health insurance business. So I decided to work with him. I went, studied, passed this test to become a health and life insurance agent. Well, anyway, he gave me these zip codes that you could basically what'll happen is you punch in a particular zip code and you'll get all these phone numbers. And so I punched in a zip code and I got like 500 and something phone numbers. So this process, what I was about to go through, is called cold calling. And I figured out real fast that cold calling is cruel and unusual punishment. You know, that's where you're calling somebody on the phone in the evening while they're trying to have dinner or talk with their family and asking them, do they want to buy life insurance? And they cuss you out. Hell no, I ain't trying to buy no life insurance. What the hell you call me for? So that's what I mean by cruel and unusual punishment. And to add to that, I called all those 400 and something numbers and I didn't get not one sale. And so with that little side hustle, as you can tell, that failed pretty quickly. And my friend, he was kind of disgusted about it. I don't know if he was going to get a commission off my sale or whatever, but me and him, we fell out from being friends over that whole debacle. And I'll go into detail over that some other time. Then once that failed, I decided, oh, I'm going to go get a second job. Well, the second job that I went out to get was working for Sears as a appliance salesman. I was trying to sell ranges, microwaves, and dishwashers in that section. Well, and that job didn't pan out well either. And just like my primary job, that second job, the boss was like on my back because she was trying to push me to sell. And I was doing my best trying to sell, but the days that they were scheduling me, nobody was in the damn mall. You know, if you're working a Monday, Tuesday, or a Wednesday, hell, the mall is pretty dead in a department store like Sears. And then she's expecting me to sell like $5,000 worth of appliances that day. So, needless to say, I stayed at that job maybe under 3 months and I was out of there. So, what I decided to do on the third time around was I was like, what am I passionate about? And and it dawned on me, the light bulb came up, and I was like, hey, I like coaching youth sports, or I like working in youth sports. I played it growing up. I played it in the military. Hey, why not do that? And plus, I had already volunteered on and off, you know, coaching, doing basketball camps, doing flag football camps for the kids, doing all these things. Why not see if I can go in it and get paid? And sure enough, I got on with a couple of organizations and started working at it, and I started earning money at it. And the reason why it was a passion is because I was good at it. It was like second nature. I look forward to when I left my primary job to get out there and go coach, or to get out there and go officiate, or even if I was just the sports coordinator where I was supervising the sports venue. I enjoyed it. I had fun. And then the great part was those checks started rolling in with that money. And I was able to build up a surplus and pay off my credit cards and pay off my car. And next thing I know, I was out of debt. And then I started saving money, building that savings and making a fortress out of that. So that was the good thing that came out of my situation. And even till this day, right now, I started doing that in youth sports, I would say about 12 years ago. even till today, I'm still doing it to this very day because it's just a passion of mine that I named earlier. And I could go out and earn money by doing that. So go ahead, SJ.
Oh no, that's awesome. I think that's great advice. And it was very fortunate that you could find something along those lines. I think that sometimes maybe people don't really know what their passion is, or they don't really know how to go about finding that type of work, something along those lines. You know,
Mhm.
it's very easy to get into retail, get into customer service, something along those lines to make some extra money.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really good idea, your suggestion to do something that you really enjoy.
If you can. And as I stated earlier, if you can't, there are plenty of platforms out there or apps or whatever you want to call it that you can go out and you can do work or get work and get paid for doing little side hustle jobs. Now, the major reason, as I stated a moment ago, of why I say try not to. I mean, if you go and get a second job, that's fine. I'm not telling you that it's totally bad, but the reason why I kind of classify a side hustle and a second job differently is because a second job is just like your primary job. In other words, you're going to have rules, regulations, operating procedures that you may have to follow. And then you're going to have a supervisor that is on your tail to make sure that you follow those things. Whereas a side hustle, yes, you may have some operating procedures, you may have some rules and stuff, but overall, it's up to you to schedule yourself when to go out and work. It is up to you to go out and try to make sure that you're doing a great job so that you can get another client or whatever in that nature. You don't have somebody there that's breathing down your neck telling you, hey, you forgot to cross the T on this, or hey, you need to fix this or whatever, or you need to put more hours in, or you need to make more sales like you would at your normal job. So that's kind of why I was just kind of differ. Oh Lord, I didn't messed up the word. That's kind of why I was separating the two in that situation. Go ahead, SJ.
You're too funny.
Yeah,
You're too funny. Okay, I see that. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah. So that's why I explained that in that situation. So have you had any experiences or anything in that nature of having a second job or maybe having a side hustle or two,
Oh
SJ?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was in the same situation. So when I was younger, right out of college, I had some great opportunities coming my way. So I was working two jobs at the same time, working in television and working in radio.
Mhm.
And it was great because I was getting a lot of experience. And the second job did amount to extra money. It wasn't a whole lot of money, but it was extra money. So that was awesome. And then recently, within the last 10 years, I had to make some sacrifices for personal reasons. You know, my parents were getting older and I wanted to be there for them. And that was limiting my career options because of where I had to move geographically. So I
Mhm.
found myself in a situation where I wasn't making enough money. So I heard about a good second job. It was a part-time job, and I jumped on that bandwagon. And again, like you said, I was able to save enough money to really get myself out of a difficult situation, out of some debt, and save some money, a good amount of money, so that I could have some more options. Now, I'll be honest with you, at this point, I'm really
Uh-huh.
not in favor of working a second job, but I have switched that mentality to say, okay, time for a side hustle. I do need multiple streams of income. Everybody knows. First of all, let me say this. Personally, I don't know too many people who are cutting it with just one job. I do know some people who are very professional. I know people with advanced degrees. I know people who have been in the workforce for a long time. I've been in the workforce in this industry for a long time. However, I still have not gotten to that level that I would like to get financially, that salary range that I would like to get. Who wants to cap that, first of all, right? But
Right.
secondly, I'm just now starting to make the kind of money that I really thought I would be making straight out of college.
Mm.
So yeah,
Good point.
that's been, very interesting, a journey. So I'm definitely for a side hustle. I haven't really gotten to the point where I can establish any consistency, though, in terms of being able to offer my services, because when you're doing it on your own, like for example, if you're putting services on Fiverr or Upwork or just through word of mouth or people that you have to somehow build a clientele.
Yeah.
And I haven't quite figured that out just yet, how to do that. But every once in a while, people do think of me for certain projects, and I'm happy to do that. I've
Mm.
also been looking a lot at how much should I charge. Everybody always says you need to know your worth, know your value. Yes, that's true. But at the same time, when you can't really say or list, give a portfolio of all these things that you've done, especially individually. So I have my resume, right? And my resume, I'd like to think, is pretty impressive. I have a lot of professional experience, and I'm
Mhm.
offering those same services, just on my own. But I can't necessarily say that I've done all this work for all of these corporate entities when I'm offering my services as an individual. So that's been a little bit of an interesting ride trying to get that figured out as well. So I'm at the part where, I'm not quite ready to leave the corporate world just yet. I still want to have that salary coming in with those benefits. But at the same time, I am delving more into an entrepreneurial space or a side hustle space, where I can make some money on my own doing the things that I love to do. I'm calling it consulting work and or
Uh-uh.
freelance work.
Mhm.
And yeah, that I'm just trying to figure it out in terms of that space.
No, that is great. That is great. And we can kind of dive into that a little bit deeper in the next episode that we do that's pertaining to side hustling and how to transition from your full-time job into your passion or side hustle in that situation. So, no, great points, SJ, and I'm sure that a lot of people are kind of in that same way. I was in that same thing for a long time, as you know my story. I mean, I did it for 10 years or more before I actually made the leap and left my job. So I definitely understand where you're coming from in that situation. So with that, the last thing I just wanted to mention on this segment is, here are the three reasons why, in my belief, that a side hustle is needed, especially nowadays in today's time, post COVID pandemic. And then the first reason I want to say is that in case, as you kind of alluded to that, SJ, if you ever are terminated or you are laid off from your full-time job, if you already have a side hustle established, you will still have a source of income that's coming in. So, in other words, to be point blank about it, you're not going to be thrown out on the streets the next day after you lose your job. You're going to have some source of income coming in. Second, if you have any debt, the side hustle will help you pay it off quicker than your primary job. So then you can eliminate the debt, which once you eliminate your debt, it also eliminate the stress that you may be having of how I'm going to pay these bills and things like that. And it'll eliminate the stress from your full-time job, because if you know you don't have a whole bunch of debt and you have some extra income coming in, You're a little more relaxed and you start becoming a little less dependent on that primary job. And then number three, most importantly, you once you start saving money from that side hustle, you will have that money or capital, whatever you want to state, to start investing in income assets like stock or real estate. Or if you want to go out and just start your own business. Once you have your own money or capital, you don't have to worry about, oh, can I go get a loan from the bank? You will have some money that's already there that you have saved up to invest in your dream business or invest in whether you want to start investing heavily in the stock market or you want to start investing heavily into real estate. You have an income that's already there. Excuse me, you have money that's already there that you can pull from, and you don't have to worry about going to the bank or asking family or friends or anything in that nature. So those are my three things is that you will have once you have an established side hustles, and that's why a side hustle is needed in today's time. So with that being said, do you have anything else, SJ, you wanted to add?
Just, be open to the possibilities. Don't block any of your opportunities. You never know when you may fall into something that is a great opportunity for you. Maybe you are just doing it to earn a little bit of extra money, but you might learn, hey, this is something that I really like doing. I like doing this more than I like doing my full-time job. You may put yourself in a network of different people who can help you get to another level and make more money in that way, or be exposed to more opportunities in that way. So I also think that just in this day and age, things have changed. It's very difficult to get by with just one job. So a side hustle is a great option.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, just want to say and thank everybody out there that's been liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to our channel. Please continue to pass it along. And we will be very happy as we can reach our goal and grow this platform so that we can reach more people out there. So, with that being said, thank you for tuning in to the Shut Up and Work podcast. And we will see you on the next one. Take care.